Good morning, it's Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, EOS, Ethereum and Ripple's XRP. It is Saturday the 11th of July. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the dollar and the hourly candlestick. Bullish end to the day yesterday delivered upside. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 92.54 to support another upward momentum through to the first major resistance level that's sitting at 93.75. Support from the broader markets could be needed to break out from yesterday's high. It was at 93.24. So barring a extended breakout on the day, that first major resistance level and Friday's high should cap any upside. Fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 91.84 into play. Should see Bitcoin continue to avoid sub 9,000s. Got the second major support level sitting at 90.63 to support the downside limit. Looking at the MACD and the EMAs, the MACD's seeing histograms widening here, suggesting a possible breakout on the day, and we're seeing the 50-day EMA moving towards a crossover back to form a bullish trend. So avoiding a fall through that pivot on the day will be key, and a move factor through 9,300 would be the bullish signal. Moving across to the daily candlesticks and the MACD for Bitcoin against the dollar. We're seeing Bitcoin wedged once more, failing to break out through to the 9,500 levels. So going to need to see a move through the day's first major resistance level through to 9,400 to then support a breakout. First target for the bulls is 97.95 for a move through to 10,000s, and then that key resistance at 10.398 to support that near-term bullish trend. A pullback through the day's major support level to sub 9,000s would then bring 8855s and then 8620s into play to reverse that bullish trend. EMA is pointing to a possible bullish day ahead, MACD doing the same, so avoiding the day's pivot and a pullback through sub 9,000s will be key. Moving across to EOS against the dollar, slightly bullish beginning to the day. Going to need to see EOS avoid a pullback through the pivot at 61.69 to then support a run at this first major resistance level, sitting at 65.87. Going to need to see support from the broader market to break out from yesterday's high. It was at 64.97, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, that first major resistance level should cap any upside. Fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 58.42 into play. Barring an extended sell-off, EOS should continue to avoid sub 250s. Got the second major support level sitting at 54.24 to limit the downside. Looking at the daily candlestick, EOS and the MACDs and the MA, we're seeing the 50-day moving average begin to narrow against the 100 and 200, suggesting a possible bullish day ahead. Slight narrowing of the histograms on the MACD, so avoiding a fall through the pivot and a move through to 65s, that first major resistance level of the day, will be key to support upward momentum, and then a run at this major resistance level at 290 to support that near-term bullish trend. Break down through 250 and then we could see a leg down to 219, so break down through 219 and that's a bullish trend reversal. Moving across to Ethereum against the dollar and the hourly candlestick. Mixed start to the day. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot 239 to support a run at its first major resistance level, saying at 243.69. Again, Ethereum's going to need to see support from the broader market to break out from yesterday's high that was 242.12. So barring an extended rally on the day, should see the first major resistance level cap any upside. Fall through the pivot brings the first major support level at 237.30 into play. Should avoid sub 230s barring an extended sell-off. Got the second major support level sitting at 233 to limit the downside. Moving across to the daily candlesticks and the MACD and the EMA, slight narrowing on the histograms on the MACD. while we're seeing the EMA 50 widen marginally against the 100 and 200. So avoiding a fall through the pivot and a move back through to 242s would support a breakout. So keep an eye on the EMA and MACD. Breakout from yesterday's high and the first major resistance level would bring this first key resistance level on the trends, 253.60, into play. A breakout through there, and we're going to see 257's the 23.6% fib. Fall through that pivot, and we could see sub 230s. Going to need to avoid 215s, however, to then prevent a leg down to sub 200s and this key support level at 176. That would then be a bullish trend reversal. So avoiding the pivot on the day will be key. Moving across to Ripple's XRP against dollar and the hourly candlestick. Slightly bullish start to the day. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid the pivot at 1980. Support around at the first major resistance level at 2041. Ripple's XRP saw plenty of resistance at 20 yesterday, so going to need to see support from the broader market for a breakout from yesterday's high that was at 20.86. Fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 1936 into play. Should avoid the second major support level sitting at 1877. Moving across to Ripple's XRP and the dollar, daily candlestick and MACD. MACD slight narrowing on the histogram, but still bullish. And we're seeing a narrowing of the 50-day EMA against the 100 and 200, suggesting a possible breakout on the day. So avoiding a fall through the day's pivot level will be key. That's at 1980. And a breakout through 20 would support that bullish trend. And a move back through to 21s and that first key resistance level on the trends at 2150. So pivot level and a move through to 20s would support that upward trend.